Hello everyone, in this short video tutorial, you're going to learn how to apply the domino effect or game chain reaction into a Scratch project that you have. Alright, so what I'm going to use to demonstrate to you today is a little magic trick animation that I'm going to create. I'm going to walk you through what I have in this project now. Okay, so I have 4 sprites, a wizard, table, rabbit and poof sprite. The wizard sprite has its size and position already fixed as such. Under costumes, I have created 3 different costumes for my wizard sprite. Costume 1 is that of him holding his wand up. So this is going to appear before a magic spell is being casted. Second costume is that of him in the midst of casting his spell. So you can see the frown on his face and some little flashes coming out from the magic wand. Alright, and finally the third costume is that of him holding his wand down. So this is probably the finished after effect when he has already casted the spell. Okay, so I'm going to work with these 3 costumes for my wizard today. Alright, let's move on to the next sprite. I have a table sprite as well. So this table sprite actually is that of a table with a magic hat on top of it. I have also already fixed its size and position as such. Okay, and if I were to click to costumes, you will see that I only have one single costume for this sprite. So that means I'm not going to do any costume change animation. Okay, now for the third sprite, the rabbit sprite, I've also already fixed the size and the position as such. And if I click to costumes, same as the hat sprite, I only have one single costume. So no costume animation here. Okay, and finally the last sprite that I have is a poof sprite. It looks a bit like a cloud. Okay, let me just click on it to show you. Same as the other sprites, I've already fixed the size as well as the position that I want it to appear at. Under the costumes tab, I have 14 different costumes for my Poof Sprite. So I'm just going to click through each of them consecutively and I want you to observe what happens. Okay, so as I click through the costumes, you will notice that it sort of gives an animation effect of a cloud being formed and then slowly dissipating. Okay, so I'm going to do a costume change animation for my Poof Sprite to give the illusion of magic happening. Okay, something appearing poof. Alright, now that I've gone through all the sprites I have, let's get started with the magic trick animation coding. Okay, I'm going to start with my wizard sprite first because he is the master of the show today. Okay, now for my wizard sprite, I want him to start at costume number 1, which is that of the wand being held up. So to be sure, I'm going to go to looks. I'm going to fix that code first. Alright, so switch costume to costume number 1. Okay, after this, I'm going to add a little bit of a wait time before he starts his magic show. Okay, maybe I'll do about 2 seconds. Now he's going to whisper some magic words. Okay, so let's go back to looks. I'm going to use the first say block. He's going to say the words abracadabra. Abracadabra. Okay, and he's going to say this for about 3 seconds before the next action happens. Okay, now after he says abracadabra for 3 seconds, I'm going to make him do a costume change 2 times to get him to go through all the 3 costumes. Okay, so for this, I will go to my control block. I will look for the repeat block, pull it out, repeat 2 times. I'm going to do a next costume change. Okay, next costume, and just to be sure that I have a bit of buffer between each costume, I'm going to add a wait block. Okay, wait for about 0.5 seconds. Okay, now this is how he will look like when he casts his magic spell. Okay, so after 2 seconds, abracadabra, and then after 3 seconds, he will start to move and animate. Okay, go through the motions. Now, let's add the magic that will cause the rabbit sprite to appear as well as the poof sprite to appear. Okay, for this, we have learned today that to link things or different sprites together, we can use a special block called the broadcast message block. Okay, that can be found under events. So I'm going to pull out a broadcast message block here. I'm going to create a message that whispers the magic words abracadabra. Okay, abracadabra. Okay, so this is the hidden message that I'm going to send to the other 2 sprites to get them to appear and be animated. Okay, so I'm going to just fit in this message after my wizard says abracadabra here. This is a hidden message. And once done, I'm going to move on to the next sprite. Okay, I'm not going to do anything for the table sprite because it pretty much just stays there as it is. Now for the rabbit sprite, I want my rabbit sprite to hide itself at the start. Okay, so just under my go-to block, I'm going to add a hide block. Okay, at the start, it's going to hide itself. It will only show when it receives the secret abracadabra message. So for that, I'm going to go to events. I'm going to pull up a when I receive abracadabra message block, and then I'm going to add my show. Okay. Now, let's add a bit of fun effect to this. We're going to add some sound effects. So under sounds, I am going to add a new sound for my rabbit. I'm going to add a magic spell sound. Okay, so let's pop this in. Go back to our code. We're going to introduce this play sound magic spell code under the show block. Okay, now I'm done with my rabbit sprite. Let's do the final one, which is the Poof Sprite. Same as the rabbit sprite, Poof is going to hide itself at the start. So I'm going to just pop in the hide code under the go-to block. Poof is also going to appear only when it receives the abracadabra message. So go back to events. I'm going to pull out the when I receive abracadabra block, and then I'm going to make my Poof Sprite show itself before it does a costume change animation. Okay, so again, for costume change, under control, I'm going to repeat 13 times so that I can go through all the different costumes. Next costume. Okay? Alright, I'm not going to add a wait time between each costume because I want the effect to be immediate. Okay, and once Poof Sprite has gone through all its costumes, it is finally going to hide itself again. Okay, now just to be sure that I got the correct costume number 1 at the start, I'm going to add a switch costume to costume 1 code just after my hide block. Okay, now let's run this whole animation and see our magic work. I'm going to do a full screen for this so you can observe the entire effect. Okay, let's go. Abracadabra! And there you go. Okay, so a very simple use of the broadcast message and receive message block can actually get you to link different sprites and different elements of your game together to form a chain reaction or a domino effect. Okay, so using this, see what else you can create for your Scratch project and have fun with it.